Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. We're going to continue making this spaceship here. So last video I recorded was about a week ago, so we're going to pretty much take it on from where I left off. Alright, so kind of got to catch up to where I was, and let's just hide this. And hide some of these objects we don't need right now. And maybe I could hide some of these Boolean objects, which I don't need in the viewport right this second. Okay. And it looks like my video's coming through clearly, I think. But let me know if there's any issues and I'll get it fixed. Okay, so I could hide the floor. And I don't need that or this. And that looks pretty good now. So let's see, what can we do here? I'm going to add another plane. Okay, and let's just move down the x-axis a little bit. And we'll kind of do a random cut. This doesn't have to be anything fancy, just something. Want to do something different though. Let's go with that. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Gonna have to do that again. Oh, that hasn't happened before. I'm not sure what is going on. That works. Something with the knife tool is not working right. Let's see. I'm gonna do something different if I can't get that working right. Something even more simple, like this. And most of these vertices I don't really need. Actually, I'm going to do something different. So Shift A, mesh plane, and what I'm going to do is just do a couple subdivisions. Okay, and we can turn that up. And then I can apply it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select which ones I want. And I want to do cuts like that. Enter. And then I'm going to do this. And this is because for some reason the knife tool is not working right. So I kind of have to find a different way. Not sure why it's doing that, but sometimes it happens. Anyway, so I'm going to select this edge, holding Control, and then Control-I, and then X, dissolve edges. Nope. Would it be delete edges, maybe? Yeah, that would work. And then B, extrude Z, and then what I could do is extrude on the x-axis, scale X 0, and yeah. And yeah, let me actually fix that normal, because I think that it's flipped. Yeah, there we go. And normals, recalculate. Alright. And sorry about that. Got a lot of stuff coming up. My computer is getting like messages here. Not sure why. I hope it doesn't crash. Okay. I am not sure why my computer is doing this. It's like freezing. Alright. It's working again. Okay. Yeah, so sometimes that happens, but luckily everything's working. So let's fix the normals in edit mode. Mesh normals for calculate, and move it on the x-axis and the z, and let's see what we can do. Scale that down, and I'm going to make a few cuts. I'm thinking about doing it on the top, but I'm not sure. This actually looks pretty cool, honestly, how it is, but maybe I'll do it on the bottom. And in fact, I just thought of something. I'm going to bring that back. I'm going to delete all these faces, and then I'm going to add a mirror and do it on the y-axis, but it has to be I think here, and yeah, okay. And then actually I'm going to fill that face back in. I'm not sure why I undid that. So I have to go to edge mode. Okay, and then we can just do something here, but I actually want to mirror this, I think, more like that. Okay, and what I could do is, yeah, like that, I think. But what did I want to do? Did I delete that interior face? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to apply that. And one thing, I need to make this more narrow, I think. And then apply it. Okay, and I'm going to put that under the ship to give a kind of cool effect. So this, then Control minus. Oh, I don't know what I did there. And I gotta wait for it to undo the pause, which takes a long time. I almost forgot about that. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Looking through the chat, I don't see anything now, but yeah, if you guys ever have anything you want to talk about, just feel free to chat. And I'll answer any questions. Okay, and it looks like that worked, and I can hide the wireframe view because I don't need that. And yeah. But let's move that somewhere where it would make more sense. So I'm thinking about, first of all, we have to apply this above everything. And we're getting some problems now, so let's see why that is. Not sure what's going on here. Maybe this interior face has to go. Yeah, that's the problem. So I'm going to delete the faces. Delete the face, and yep, that fixes everything. And yeah, so I'm gonna go with something I think like this, and maybe I'll scale it up a little bit more. I don't want to go too crazy though. that looks really cool actually. I'm gonna go with that, I think, and maybe move it down a little bit and this way. And then I'm going to mirror it over. I'm going to mirror it over this object, and yeah, look at that. We got the bottoms better now, and I'm going to, I think, do I want to do that? I'm not sure. I'm thinking about going with something like this. Something to give a lot of detail. This is looking pretty cool already. And I think it's almost done, but I kind of want to change something with the front. I'm going to look at some references and see what I can do with that. Because I can't, sometimes it's hard to concept ideas and I have to kind of get references. I think I know what I'm going to go with. So for this bottom piece, yeah, for the bottom here, I'm going to add a cube. And I can just move that on the y-axis and scale that up. And bring it this way. Rx, yeah, 45. And we can cut that into there. And let's see, do I want to bring that up? Actually, thinking yeah, I'm thinking about going with something like this. And maybe a little bit more. But it's kind of hard to say. Yeah, I think actually that looks pretty cool. Maybe the angle could be down a little bit so I get that water smooth marking. That looks good. And I'm also going to change this thing here because I'm not too happy with that. So I'm going to unhide everything. And it's going to take a little bit of time. So we'll wait for that. Okay, and I could just hide what I don't need. This bevel, let's see what we got here going on. So this one I'm not too happy with. It's been kind of bugging me. I think it's just too much of a... It's just too much of the same details maybe. So I'm gonna kind of make this different a little. So I'm gonna just... actually think I'm gonna undo that whole thing. Doesn't look sci-fi enough. At least as I see it. Yeah, so. Okay, and now I don't need to view that anymore. Actually, let me view that again and hide what I don't need. And I'm going to do the same with, actually, I could leave that. That's okay. And I'm going to add a cube. Shift A, cube, and do a very simple design here. Something like this, I'm thinking of. Yeah. And let's get that to scale in the local view too. And then we can do the same with this. Yeah, and then I'll mirror that across across this. And apply it. Then all I need to do is just fix this one. And kind of make it even here, if I can. And of course I need to apply the bevel above the bevel, like that, and same here. And let's just go with something less harsh. Thinking just like that might be good. Yeah, and I'm gonna do some more stuff in the center. I'm gonna make another fan-like thing. So Shift A, mesh cylinder. Actually, instead of doing that, let me look at a reference to see what I can do with this. So what I'm going to do is actually make this some kit bash on this, and kind of like this, I'm going to do the same kind of thing. So instead of remaking this whole piece, why don't we just grab all these bevels or booleans, and we can actually just well, I don't need these. I don't need this one. I don't need that one, and don't think I need this one. And that should be good. So I can actually Shift D and then Control J to join each one. Or actually, maybe I shouldn't do that. So individual origin, nope. Let's see, what mode would be right here? Median point? Nope. Global, okay. Yes. That should be good. And okay, and one of them seems to be having a problem where it has a mirror modifier applied. So which one is that? It's this one. Okay, gotta apply that. And then move all these here. And we'll now I'd like to get the one origin. Nope, I gotta undo that. And I just set this to median point. And now let's do Control minus. Yeah, and it worked. Look at that. Worked perfectly. And I'll do the same for this piece. But before I do that, I gotta make sure that, very important, that these are all above the bevel. So this is gonna take a little bit of time to do. Yeah. So that one's gonna go above. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I know this step is so boring, but it has to be done. And I know there's an add-on to do this automatically, but I'll have to look into that. Okay, we gotta do the same with this. Okay, and it looks like, well, we definitely got some issues here. In fact, one of them is not even supposed to be a difference, so I'm gonna have to find that out. It's not this one. Nope, I want to make that bounce or wire. And I'm just gonna have to find which one it is here. So it might take me a little bit of time. So that's one right there. That should be, that one I remember needs to be higher up. I could do that on the local axis. This isn't even supposed to be getting cut by this, but I actually think it looks cool, so I'm gonna wind up leaving it, but I'm just gonna delete some of these. Like that one. I'm just gonna kind of leave whatever looks cool. So I'm gonna delete that. And just doing some procedural details here, kind of. Maybe I'll move that And I actually think it looks cool if it's a little bit different than this one. But obviously the bevels are having major issues. I can always just scale that up and see what I get out of it, but I don't think I really want that. Let's apply that for, let's, no, I'm gonna leave that and see what it looks like if I move that down. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I'm gonna put like a cool device in here. Like, cylinder. It's gonna be like a camera. So we can just move this down. And then inset both edges, kind of like that, and then bridge the edge loops. And there's a cool setting here to let you place things more easily, and that's the magnetic tool. That lets your object basically snap. So I actually gotta set that to be face and align rotation to target, and you'll see what this does. It should work, yeah. And you can see it kind of, sometimes it rotates the wrong way. So I'm gonna undo that. And it's going to take its time. Okay. So that doesn't always work properly. Like here you can see it is snapping how I want it to with the rotation aligned. Okay, now it seems, yeah. Or no, actually. Doesn't always work, so I'm not going to use it for this. But it's a useful option that you might be able to find a use for. So I'm going to give that auto smooth, shade smooth. And I'm going to look at a few more references. Actually, so this will be a light, basically, and I'm actually going to pull this part upwards. Something like that, I think, would be good. Yeah, and getting some issues with the geometry, so I'm just going to fix that. Maybe just to move it a little bit. Yeah. This can be scaled down. And let's give that an emission material with EV. We'll be using cycles, but for now I'll just, or I could preview it in cycles actually, and see how this looks. So let's give that a bright glow material. And we'll make it a very bright blue. 20, 100 maybe. Too much, maybe 50. Actually, let's do red. Not sure if I want to go with orange or blue. I think I'm going to go with orange. So let's see blue. I'm going to try orange. Do an orange theme, and I'm going to hide that. And let's see what we got. Now, for speed purposes, so this spaceship is fully modeled and finished. And what I'm going to do is apply all the modifiers so that we can have more speed to work with. And let's just fix anything that might be wrong. And obviously I'm going to make a copy of this just in case I make a mistake, so I have the non-destructive workflow still there. Before I do anything though, I want to, well, actually, yeah, I'll apply well, actually, let me just add a few more cuts where I'm going to put lights in. So I'm going to put one here. But I'll do that after, actually, I think. Yeah, so some of these modifiers I don't need. Like these two. And I can also minimize these. So remember, modifiers are always read top to bottom. Okay, and I think everything looks good. So I'm going to duplicate that. And move it on the... Whoa, what is happening here? Okay. Okay, so we have to go back to global and make sure that's median point. Everything seems to be working good. Let's just double check. Okay, and we're going to apply every modifier now. So I have to open these all up. So like that. Actually, I did not want to do that because I'm adding too many loops. Let's change that profile to 1, and we only need 2 segments before the subdivide. Same thing with this. Just 2. And then always to 1. This one now is subdivide and then bevel, which could be 4 because it's after the subdivide. And that should be scaled down just a little bit. Something like this. I gotta undo that because I did not make a copy of the mesh. Can't forget that, because if I apply it all, I won't have the non-destructive mesh as a backup. Luckily, I am budgeting for a new computer soon. I'm hoping I'll be able to get one within 6 months or so, but we'll see. That would greatly speed up my workflow. So before you do anything, we gotta duplicate this. Like that. And then I'm gonna apply every single modifier except the bevel. Yeah. Let's just make sure everything's working good. Yep. Same thing here. And now with this, solidify and then bevel of 2 segments. Would it be 4 though? No. Yeah, 2. Apply that and this. And maybe I gotta fix this. I'm gonna remove the weighted normal for that because it seems to be causing, I think, some problems. Maybe not. I'll put it back in. And what is going on with this shading? Oh, so the bevel angle. like 30, it would bevel that, but then it kind of messes up the others. So back to 60. And even though that shading's not perfect, I think it's okay. Generally, I'm not seeing any major issues. Yeah. Okay, so we'll go back to normal view. Yep. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave that. And it looks like I forgot to set the bevel to be just at a level of 1 on the profile for the previous one after the subdivide, but I'm not too worried about that. As long as there's no major issues, it should be okay. Let's fix this, and we can just kind of move that there, and that fixes that. This definitely has some issues here. And I may have to see what I can do about this. Yeah, that's a little problematic. Okay, that fixes that. Just gotta get this edge to look better. then maybe that bevel width, or this has to be up. Yeah. And as long as the artifacts aren't atrocious, I can deal with them. Because I don't really need excellent topology since I'm not selling this model currently. But eventually I will be having this model for sale, but of course the whole thing will have to be retopologized in a professional way. All quads. If I listed it for sale. But for viewing, this topology is just fine for hard surface assets that don't need any deformation. And I don't really have to worry about this because again, we're not animating it, we're not doing any deformations to the mesh itself. And I'm not sure why I'm getting that artifact there. But sometimes just moving these vertices together fixes any shading problems. So I'm going to do the same with this. Yeah, with this one, make sure that's set to 1, and then right here, apply everything. Keep this one here. And that looks good for the most part. Let's see, we can bring that down just a little bit. Maybe to catch that edge. Yeah. Let's bring that down to 35 and then we'll just fix this topology here kind of manually. And there's something here. Yeah. That looks pretty good. And for this, let's make sure we apply everything here again. Mirror first, solidify, bevel to 2, and then that's set to 1 with an arc miter, and then all of these booleans I'm gonna have to apply. Okay, and this is good how it is, and I'm going to delete all these cutters because I don't need them anymore for the destructive one. And this one I don't believe is doing anything. This is looking pretty good so far. I'm going to bring that up and just fix some of these issues here, like that. Anything that I see that seems like it should be fixed, like this. And I think that is pretty good. Yeah. So we're going to do the same with this. Make sure the bevel in the beginning is set to be 2 segments and 1 with an arc miter. Subdivide on these. This is good. And now this one already have a shading issue. Luckily, it can be easily fixed. This, that should be to the top. Apply that. And leave the bevel as non-destructive. Same thing with this. Apply. And apply. And that should be good. And do I need this? Nope. And we can just move this. We don't need this. And this thing. Yeah, we can apply all these bevels. Need that. Make sure it's set to arc. Okay. Same thing with this. This must be set to, let's see. One bevel. That's important. apply it. And then I'm going to leave that. Same thing with this, I believe. Yeah. This is good. Okay, so I think I can delete all these. And certainly non-destructive workflow is really enjoyable, but eventually in the end you do tend to go back to destructive for the speed aspect of it. So let me just, I don't need these booleans anymore. Yeah, this is a pretty nice spaceship, I think. Let's see, do I need to apply anything? Yes, I do. I need to apply the array. And this bevel, we can just leave that to arc. This has to be applied. Two segments. Yep, and one. Then that I'll just leave. Perhaps I'll put a weighted normal and set it to auto smooth to fix any kind of shading issues that we may run into. This one, I believe I have to apply this and that. Yeah. Same thing with this. Make sure that's set to arc. And same thing here. Weighted normal is added, so that's good. And this has to be checked too. Otherwise, weighted normal will not work. So you have to have auto smooth enabled and look at the difference. Before kind of doesn't look as good, but after looks much better. And I'll show you with the better mac cap. Like here, disabled, it kind of looks like circular, like not correct, the shading. But if I check it, it fixes it. So that's great. And this design is looking really good. Futuristic, I'm pretty happy with it. What else did I want to do? Well, let's go back to Studio. This has to be fixed. And then for the ease of the use of this asset, I'm going to take this empty, and before that, just realized I missed something. Yeah, I have to fix this. I'm gonna redo it. Just delete this one and then move that one in. Same thing here. Apply everything. And then just move that over. Like that. Little shading artifact here. Not too worried about it, but I'm going to fix it just by moving that a little bit. Same thing here. And yeah, for the most part, everything doesn't look too bad. Looks pretty good. Few artifacts, so let's get those out of the way. That is okay for now. And that, there's some shading artifacts still left. And this should be fixed. But now, I think everything looks great. This edge here I don't need. I'm gonna delete that edge loop. Same thing here. And that fixes that problem. Same thing with this edge. Bevel it at 30 degrees. But of course we need to fix some more issues that may occur. And set that to arc. bevel, 30, and we're good for the most part, but have to fix these issues again. And it definitely gets boring, but it is important. But yeah. I probably don't have to go this crazy, especially if this object is going to be far away. You won't even notice many of these problems, but I always like to make things look as good as they possibly can and fix any possible issues that may occur. So that should be good. Yeah, so now it's fully into a mesh, no more non-destructive. It's all basically destructive into a mesh now. So yeah, this is our spaceship, and there's a few more things I want to do. Like, for instance, I'm going to go into this part, lift that up, and Shift A, add a plane. Actually, we're going to add a circle. Cylinder. Scale it up. RX to make it like that. Then I'm going to kind of make it as even as I can. Something like that. But then scale it up more, and something like that should be good. And then all I'm going to do is go to edit mode and go here. Rotate it in local view, R, Z, and then J, and then all I'm going to do is delete all these other edges like that. Okay, and back to global view. I'm going to take this and delete it. And there we go. So I'm going to actually make that back to the origin, even it out. And again, we can use this magnetic tool. And then RX 90. perfectly flat now. Shade smooth. Water smooth. No bevel needed. This is just a light. Yeah, this is just going to be a light. This part can come out, and then this bottom piece here. Proportional editing, and then linear. And then I can move that back without proportional editing, then right click, flatten. That's good. And bring the cover back on. And even though these edges are really not, they have bad artifacts, they're going to be in the ground, in the inside, so you won't even see it. So I'm not going to worry about that. So this light should cover everything. Kind of like that. Yeah, and I'm going to make it red. It's got to be an emission though. Red, pure red. 50. Let's take a look and see how it's shading. Oh, okay. So, not this. We don't want this one to be that color. Why is that being ignored? Nope, that didn't fix it. That is weird. Yeah, it's not showing one of the objects in the viewport. I mean, in the render. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I am gonna have to research what's going on with that. Does it show up in Eevee? Yeah, it does. I have no idea why that would happen. I'm gonna research that quick and see what's going on with that. That is an odd problem with this. Let's see, I got my mesh here. Solid. Ray visibility. Yeah, that was the problem. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know what was going on there. I don't know why I toggled that off, but at least I got it fixed now. So I noticed this looks a little bit not correct, so I'm going to fix that just by bringing down the angle to 30. We fixed that, and this could be scaled on the x-axis just a tiny amount. And I can always apply the scale. And if we start getting artifacts here, I could just delete these edges like that. And it shouldn't be a big deal for the most part. Yeah, and that looks cool. Let's, before we start doing more stuff, let's add one more light in to here. And 64 edges. And Blender's just going to take its time. It's taking a really long time. Not sure why. Gonna have to wait for that. Okay, and it seems like it worked. Where would it be? It's right here. Scale it way up. Move it on the x-axis, then I could just scale it down a lot. And again, we're gonna just inset both edges, faces. Same as before, delete, and then take these, and take this, extrude S-Shift-Z, and something like that is good. Shade smooth, and auto smooth. And I'm getting some bad lag. I'm gonna check what I got open up my programs. It's a little slower than usual. I'm not sure why. It could be just the recording. Oh well. Anyway, so this was just going to be another light. Kind of give a futuristic sci-fi feel to it. And let's just move that up. Like that. Scale it down. And I want to get it below the blades. Something like that would be great, but it has to be even. And yeah, that looks good. Let's give that a nice blue glow to it. I don't want to add too many colors or it starts to get too much, but this is looking pretty good so far. Maybe I should keep that orange though. I'm not sure, honestly. This is going to be a hard decision. I am not sure if I should go with this or go with that. Yeah, if anyone watching this has any suggestions which one looks better, yeah, just let me know in the comments. So it's this or that. I mean, I think I'm going to stick with the blue for now. But I might change that later on. But yeah, overall, for the most part, I did add most of the, what do you call it, the lights to it, but I still gotta fix some topology issues. That I'm gonna move up, but I'm gonna fix this if I can. That fixes that for the most part, and I'm also going to do the same thing with this. And I'm not seeing any more major issues anywhere, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let's unhide everything else, but first of all, this one, I'm going to put it into a collection. Move to collection, new collection, and ship non-destructive, and enter that. So now that should be in its own collection, and I'm just going to hide that all. This one, however, will be called Move to Collection New shift destructive. And that's good. And we can always use a particle system to instance these objects, which we're going to do later on possibly. Or maybe not, I'm not really sure if it would fit the scene, but we'll see. Let's unhide everything. But of course I need to hide the destructive one. So I'm gonna deselect that. And why don't I just save so I don't lose anything in case my computer were to shut down. Alright, and now this can be moved like that. Okay, and this should be rotated something like this. I'm thinking origin to geometry. Actually, I'll parent it to an empty. So select everything first. All these objects have to be selected. Let's let Blender calculate that. Oh, and of course I gotta Control P, Alt P, clear parent. And then I don't want this to be parented, so I'm gonna clear that too. Let that calculate. And yeah, so this object will now follow the empty, and I just have to grab one object now. Makes things much easier. So I'm going to scale it down kind of place it on the track here. Try to get the scaling right. Let's take a little preview render. I'm gonna undo that. Yeah. Gotta fix the camera. And let's see, so can't find this camera. This is it. Okay. I'm thinking I'm gonna have this kind of angled, not on the ground, like kind of coming in for a landing. From a distance, maybe. Something like that. Yeah. And I'll have some flames maybe coming out of the back. Let's take a look at that again. Of course, I gotta give materials to it. I am pretty happy with that, but move it a little bit closer, and I want to add the materials in now, so I'm gonna go to Eevee to speed things up and hide everything I don't need at the moment, like this and that. And now we got a fast viewport, and I can just start adding some of these materials in that I have saved up. Let's see, this can be, should I make this rusty? I don't, what's this? No, I don't want that. That's the bark. Rust. No, and Eevee has issues with that one, so that one looks great, actually. This one. And if I apply the scale, still the same, so that's a good one. For this, for the main part of the spacecraft, this is going to be a hard decision, but black should be good. Same for here. This is already looking really good. I'm going to change some things later on with the color, I think. But overall, let's see, I'll make that part red. Or black, I think. Or I got silver, actually. I'll make that silver too. This part I will make black though. This should be a little bit more rough, so I'm going to go into the material options here and try to fix it. Must apply the scale. Go into the shader editor here. And then I can just find these nodes here. And I can also I could also change the scale if I need to. but I think that's pretty good. Let's see, I want to make this a little bit of a darker kind of metal, but I don't want, I think the brightness is good, but I think it's just too shiny, perhaps. So I'm going to bring that up to something like 0.3. Let's make that 0.3. And I could change the color if I wanted to. That looks cool, but this scene has enough colors already, I think, in it. I'm just going to leave it how it is. This piece will get that same black material as this. Metal grungy, where is it? Right here. Okay. This is already looking really good, and one thing I wanted to change that I noticed is that I want this to look more of an orangey glow to it. Something like that would look better, and maybe set the strength up to 100. Just to really glow. Gives a cool look. Because the red, I feel, is just not as nice. Yeah, and that looks good there. So I will also, I'll make the rest of the ship to be pure black here. If I could find it. Should be that one. And you can see if you look closely, we got all those scratches, which looks great. So that's good. One thing I've been noticing is that this one seems to be brighter than the rest, and I'm not sure what I did. So I'm going to investigate that and see why. And it seems like just the color was a little different. But I like that. Gonna leave it like that. And then this will have this material, which is number 2. These blades will be the red colored one. Then this could be the black. Or actually that could be the red. Why not? Metal grungy one. That looks pretty sci-fi. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And then of course I don't think I'm going to add I don't think I even need this piece. But I'm going to leave it anyway. And because we're not going to see it. So I might not do anything with that. So let's see, where is this one here? I gotta just find it. Cube 151, okay, cube dot 151, and disable it for all. This one, cube 149, same thing here. Alright, so back to camera view. Go back and I'm gonna re-enable the ground. Same thing here. And then of course we got the trees enabled in the final render, but not in here. Because if I show that, it will slow down. And one more thing I would like to add is some volumetric smoke for this part. And I might do that with MantaFlow. And honestly, I haven't really messed around with MantaFlow much yet. Because I tend to try to stay away from simulations because it takes a lot of time to render, and I'd like to do procedurally generated volumetrics, but I actually have a procedural fire shader somewhere. I'm gonna go look for that on this computer. So let me save this, and I may not be able to find it, but if I can, that would be awesome. So I'm going to go to File, Append, and I'm just going to look around and try to remember which one it might have been. This may take me a while. I know it was a long time ago. I think I have it on my main hard drive, and then let's check my folders here. Could it be this one? What would it be under? Material. Could be this one. So I'm going to add a cube and see if that's the right one. Scale it up and don't think that is the right one. No. Okay, I gotta find it again. And I'll look for about 10 minutes, and if I can't find it, then no big deal, but hopefully I can. Because I know I have it somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to go to here, see if that's the right one. Nope. Oh, these were a long time ago. Okay, so these probably were not the right ones. Nope. Where could it be? This one, that one, no, 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 no. Nope. I can't remember where I placed it. That is a shame. But I can manage without it. Actually, I remember saving it online somewhere. So I'm going to try that and download it. Okay, and I'm just looking for it on my other screen. I should be able to find it. Probably another 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, and I remember what it was called now. Fire, shader. Aha, here it is. And now I just gotta open this. Oh wait, yeah, this is it. And then I just gotta open this up. And yeah, it's a node group here. And I actually created a course about using this material, a Udemy course, and I'll basically very advanced camera tracking, and basically what the shader does is it creates procedural fire, no particle systems required. It's very advanced, and it would take me probably a few hours to explain what it does in detail. As you can see, this node tree is massively complex, but yeah, so, but let's go back to the shader editor, and we can see that it's, let's rename it, or actually I can just leave it. So this is fire shader, and then this one, I believe actually I could just press Control C and then Control V. Maybe that doesn't work, so in that case what I could do is just File, Append, and then go to my C drive, Fire Shader. But it seems like this was a zip file, so I'm just gonna resave this. I'll rename this to Fire Shader, and File, Save As, Fire Shader file, and let's try. Should be all good. And then what I can do is go here, Fire Shader, and then we got our material. And I think that should work. Let's see. So fire, yes, and look at that. So, where is it? Okay, it's right here. And now, if we go back to Eevee, you're going to see something very cool. So, we can go to Eevee, and now you notice we have fire. We have real fire, and it's actually, it's not relying on any simulation. It's purely procedural, and of course it looks very poor now because this is Eevee, and it tends to not do too good at volumetrics, but in order to make it look a little bit better, we could still work in Eevee, but we must turn up the volumetric tile size down to 2, and it looks a heck of a lot better. Doesn't look as good as Cycles, but it looks okay. And what I'm going to do is just kind of move this into place and kind of make it like that. But again, I'm going to hide. I think I'm going to hide the landscape because it is slowing down my viewport just way too much. And let's apply the scale and just find a spot where this looks pretty good. Now it looks like I want to get it to look like fire's coming out of there. And I can make it more intense. I put some settings in here. Something like that looks incredible. And of course I have settings here where I could adjust the colors and just add a huge saturation value. This is really cool stuff here that I can do with this. Wow, okay, so let's put that to 0.25. Look at that, that looks awesome. But, 2, I want it to be blue. That looks pretty good. 0.05. 0. I think I'm going to go with the 0.1. But that's too much purple. That's good. Right there is pretty good. And one more thing. To make it look even better, I should drag this face up a little bit more. And I gotta apply the scale, view it from the camera, and let's take a look. Okay, so it seems like with the scene it's not noticeable as much as I would have liked, so of course I can always bring the brightness up higher. But first of all, let's go back to cycles and see what we get with that. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. I want to make everything visible again. So I'm going to bring back in the landscape. Notice I'm missing something. These are missing. Did I make these invisible? Cube dot 154. Yes, I think I did. Yep. Gotta enable that. And let's view it again. Nope. That is not the problem. Must be what I had going on before, where I have to make sure this is set correctly to, yeah, ray visibility. And now it should look good. Let's see. Yes, that looks correct, and that's all working out now. And we can just go back and enable some of the landscape again, like this, and the plane. And I also think that I want to, what do I want to do? I want to make sure, I think I'm changing this to be a little bit lighter of a color, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to take a look at this render and see what we got. So again, if you're enjoying this kind of course, well, I'm not exactly sure if it's like a tutorial because it's a little bit long to watch through the whole thing I made so far, but if it's helping you guys, feel free to ask any extra questions and I'll answer them. I have a lot of time available, so I can answer anything that you guys might need help with. So this is going through. It's just going to take some time to calculate the BVH. Uh-oh, my mouse was freezing a little bit. And wow, that looks incredible. Yeah, this is looking really good. But what I need to do is get the trees to show back up again, because I want to make sure the ship is not intersecting with any of them. So where do I find that? It looks like I would go to here, but I gotta find the right setting here. Particles. And I'm gonna enable this. It will slow down my computer massively, so I'm gonna have to be fully prepared for that. So I'm gonna do that right now. And now it's just gonna be a little bit of a waiting game, but that's alright. As long as it gives you a good result in the end, I'm perfectly fine with a little bit of time waiting for this to kind of calculate. And let me deselect everything. And let's just take a look at that overall lighting. So it seems like it might be a little bit bright. That's because I had to make the environment bright to pretty much look good with the background. But I can fix that by just moving the ship over to the left. And I think that I don't want this in the center here. So what do I have here? These grass, I could just disable the trees temporarily. And maybe, let's see what the grass is. Yeah, of course I don't display it all in the viewport, otherwise it will slow down my system too much, but I'm gonna just enable the trees one again, and I will select the empty and the firebox right here and move everything, but it has to be set to global to right about there. Maybe. It's got to be smaller, I think. And I could always add another one in, like this. Shift D. But actually, I have to select everything here. because I don't want to duplicate anything else. And then Shift D, grab it on the x-axis, RZ, and I can just move that down, something like this. And let's take a look at that render. And I will be right back while this is rendering. Okay. That one looks great right there. But maybe kind of just want the single one in the middle. And I'll have to adjust that lighting. Okay, let's move that over like that, and let's see that one more time. Okay, that's too bright. I'm not happy with that. Too washed out. but I have a way to fix it. And to do that, I would just simply take this empty here. Or you know what? Actually, this might look pretty good upside down. Because if I can't seem to get the lighting right, because I could change the lighting, but then the problem is that I have to adjust all the compositing, and I don't really want to have to do that. So what I'm going to do is RY 180, and I am going to actually see how something like this would look. This actually does not look bad at all. And in fact, it might look better than before. I'd rather see the bottom of the ship than the top, because then we don't have to worry about the lighting being too bright. And of course, I could always set it to a separate view layer, just the HDRI for that. But that would be a lot more setup, and I don't want to get too many render layers. Otherwise, the complexity gets enormous, but I could manage it if I wanted to, but kind of want to get this project wrapped up because I have more projects to do, but overall this is let's see, let's let that render out. I think I'm actually really happy with that. Kind of looks like a spaceship taking off. Yeah, and I don't think I need to adjust too much here. Maybe, if anything, I'll just make this a little bit, just a tiny bit brighter. This material. And just perhaps make it a little bit more of a grayish color. Or I can replace it with 023. But I'm going to go over here so it goes faster. 023. Same here. This one. 023. And I have to temporarily disable these trees to from showing because it is slowing down things way too much. Back to materials, this will be 023. Same with this, and this one will be the same thing. 023. This one, I want to make it the same thing. And then finally this one, I want to make it red, which would be this one. I think that's good. Let's perhaps view it one more time. And maybe one more thing I should do is kind of move this towards the camera. Just a little bit. And that is way too sensitive. I think that's good right there. And I might move it down just a little more and view the camera. Okay, it should switch to the camera now. Yeah, and view camera, okay, and I'm gonna view that one more time, and if I'm happy with it, we can start the render, the compositing, and that will be our final project. So let's go back to this and enable the trees and grass showing up, and then let's do the test render to see what we're getting. Gonna have to wait for this to go.